Welcome to the swatching of the second of four dot cards of Thailand's Rembrandt. Let me be clear, these are dot cards I made myself because I now have the full collection of Rembrandt watercolors, so these are not available in stores, but I made them for reviewing and swatching purposes because I don't have a set of pans yet to keep them in for swatching. So I've already done the first, which were the yellows and the oranges and the reds, and I'm going to continue with the reds and moving on through the purples to the blues. So let's go. 331 is Manganese Dark, and this is one of the colors that is not very light fast. But I know from this woman I know who paints watercolor flowers that she uses Manganese a lot. It is a beautiful color. It's really vibrant and it's a rich and vibrant transparent color. Oops. So I still have to be very careful with my hands here because I received the larger parts of the set last week, and only a few hours ago I received the other colors. So some swatches are still a bit wet and I have to be careful. Right, 336, Permanent Manganese. The Manganese Dark is Pr83, so it's not light fast, but then Permanent Manganese is now a single pigment. It's an improved pigment, Pr187, and this is light fast. It is different. It's a warmer red than the Manganese Dark. It's more red, whereas the Manganese is going towards the purple. So I'm curious what happens if I dilute it. Yeah, it's a warmer tone. It's less cool than the Manganese. But both are very rich colors. It's a pity this one is not light fast. Now Carmine, I just said in the other chart that one of the colors reminded me very much of a Carmine I used to have, an acrylic by De La Rowney that was really super strong. But now here is a real Carmine, Pr264, and it's a monopigment. It actually looks a bit like the Permanent Manganese, only it's redder and more vibrant. Oh, I love this, a gorgeous color. Let's see what it does when we dilute it with water. Looks nice. Let's see how it dries up. I wonder, because this is like a really intense red, and then when diluted it's a little bit more laid back. It's like this is a color that really pops into your face, and then this is a little bit more laid back than I'd expected. So I'm trying to mix in just a little bit more to see what happens when I do. I'm curious how it dries up. This one, I'm beginning to understand why people like this color so much. It turns into a really beautiful pink once it's dried up. Right, Permanent Manganese Brown consists of Pr264, which is that one, and Pr101. It looks like a beautiful rust color. gorgeous rust color. It's nice and strong. It's warm. This is beautiful. I love this. I like painting trees. If you have seen my recent work, I do a lot of trees, and I've been painting a lot of blue trees, but in the past I've done a lot of brown trees, dark trees, earth colored trees, and I would often toss in a transparent reddish brown. This is lovely. This will do the trick just fine. Gorgeous. Permanent Meadow Lake brown. I'm curious how this is going to dry up. It's very warm. It reminds me of a Quinacridone what was it, Quinacridone Sienna, or I don't know exactly what it's called, but I have a color that resembles this in my collection. Right, 325 Permanent Meadow Lake purple. It's 264. It's that again, but then with a PV 19. So yeah, this is a very bright color, a bright, very intense color with a bluish undertone. It's so great to be able to swatch an entire, look, it's very bluish. It's great to be able to swatch an entire collection and also see the differences between the colors, because there is a big difference between them. Even if you take these three at the top, there is a big difference between those colors. This is lovely. I love how this is this beautiful purple when it's diluted. It's gorgeous when it's a dark and intense color, but it turns into this a little bit cooler purple when you dilute it. Be very beautiful. Now the 349 Venetian Red I only got in today. So whoa, that is like, that's brown, super intense. This is a color I don't use myself, hardly ever. I can't even remember having used it. I find it usually dulls down a lot, and I haven't really found a good use for it. I think it's in a great many paint sets. It's just, and I have it, I think, of so many brands. I just don't know what to do with it, really. What looks nice in Venetian Red. So I can't be too enthusiastic about this color, but that's because of my own personal preference. Although if I dilute it, I see the color that is like an like potter's pink almost. It's not a granulating color, it doesn't say, but I can see some pigment behavior. Let's call it pigment behavior on my page. So I think I quite like the light color though. It's a little bit towards the potter's pink, so let's see, maybe I can do something with it. Now Indian Red 347, it's the PR 101, this one, with the PR 264, and that one came out of the tube split. So there was this I think it's gum arabic came out before the paint did, before the pigment did. So you know, this happens. It's just, it happens with any brand. There are brands that are really infamous for that, because then you have to get a toothpick, and then you have to stir all the paints that you pour, even when you're using it every day and on a palette. So that's not really nice. For me, it's not a problem because I used to pour pans from two paints. So if I have to stir some paints, that's okay. I don't, that's not too bad. Again, this is a color I don't use a lot because they're quite dull, but I like what's happening here. And this too, it says it's not a granulating color, but the pigments do. Here the pigments are all even, you know, they run smoothly with the water, but here you can see some sedimentation in the paper. Here it disappeared, so maybe here it will disappear as well. Let's just wait and see what happens. But there is some how do you say that? It falls into the texture of the paper. 321. No, yeah, 321 is Permanent Mada Lake Light. Now this is a beautiful transparent color. Oh, hold on. This is a cat's hair, I think. It reminds me a little bit of Quinacridone Coral by Daniel Smith. This is the third video I'm recording today, and I'm just thinking it may be a little too much in one day. Been talking to the camera so much, but that's the thing, you know. I'm just really glad all these paints, the last paints of this collection came home today, were delivered so that I can finally record this. And since it's a summer holiday for my family, I had a little bit of time to do it today, so I wanted to record as much as I could in one day, or else I'm not really sure when I'll have this time to myself to record this swatching and video. So this is a beautiful color. This is it's pink, quinacridone pink, and no, it's a Permanent Mada Lake, but this is a beautiful pink color. It's like red, but then really towards the pink side, and it's sort of a laid back and modest color. It's not screaming out loud in your face, but it's very beautiful. I think this is a beautiful color for painting flowers with. Quinacridone Pink 366, here we go. Oh my god, this looks almost like opera pink, only then a little bit darker. Look at this, it looks like neon. Wow, and this is PV 19. This, I think, is the brightest PV 19 that I've got. Wow. That is a beautiful color. That is an in-your-face color. It's got this sort of bluish undertone. It's a little towards the cooler side. Yeah. Look at this. Isn't that lovely? It's a very, very bright color. Very vibrant and transparent. It's gorgeous. Oh, my fingers are itching to paint. Right, 367 Quinacridone Red. I love quinacridone. Oh, here we go. Yeah, just this is like a warmer version of the one of the PV19 that we just did. This is clearly a warmer version. This is one of the pigments that I really would like to know. How did they do that? How do they make this one pigment into such different colors? Because they really are obviously different. How do they do that, you know? This makes me curious about making paints and learning to understand these kinds of things. Wow. Again, they're all just super intense colors here, and then here the light colors are beautiful as well. There is so much, the gradient is just really beautiful, the differences in all those colors. I really like this. Even in these two, the difference is big enough to justify both being in the collection. Some paint brands have got collections that are so big that you might, you know, some colors might be up for discussion if they should be in the collection at all, if it makes sense. But with these, thus far, and also in the first chart, every color makes sense. It's just lovely to have in this collection. 368, another Quinacridone Magenta. Whoa. Well, talking about an in-your-face color. This is Quinacridone Magenta. My God, this is very, very bright and vibrant and deep. This is why people love quinacridones, because they are so vibrant and so when you lay these down on your paper, you know, they lift up your painting. It's gorgeous, gorgeous color. Wow, I love this. Oh, there's a drop of water here. That's a really very, very, very bright color. Let's see, this would be the equivalent, I think. No. Look at this. Would be the equivalent of that one, I think, or not? Yeah, 366. Look how much brighter this is than that is. Wow. Nice, nice, nice. But I think this hasn't even changed. So this might just be the result of using two paints and pan paint, or of this being an old paint and this being a new paint. I don't know, because I'll just chuck in more of the pigments and see what it does, because this does seem brighter than the other one. But then again, as I mentioned in my previous video of the first 30 colors, is that my old set actually contained ended up containing a couple of old colors that were no longer in stock at all. So that proves that some stores really do have a lot of old stock left. Right, 357 is pink. What? Pink? I would call this a lilac. Pink? Oh, okay. Well, I don't agree. 357, pink. Yeah. I don't agree on that. This is not pink. This is lilac. This is, I think this would approach pink. These colors, this color. This is not a pink. If you buy this color based on the name, which you should never do, this is not a pink. It's a lilac with a pink, a lilac that goes toward the pink. But this is not pink. Really, it isn't. So it makes me wonder why a manufacturer chooses to call this pink when it obviously isn't a pink, not like the Pink Panther, not like pink bubblegum. It may have to do simply with the pigments used, although this I would already call like a purple, like a mauve really. So I don't get the pink here. It's a beautiful color nonetheless, but do make sure whenever you buy a paint, don't buy it based on the names, because you might be in for a surprise. Permanent Red Violet. Now, this is a color, the first one I owned was by Schminky and I loved it. And then I owned a few more from other brands, and then I owned it from Rembrandt, and I just simply love it. This is a color I've used a lot. This is a color I've replaced a couple of times in my set, and fortunately it hasn't changed, because I'm always very sad when paints that I use a lot are replaced or are out of the collection all of a sudden. So yeah, one of my favorites. Right, 365 Quinacridone Red Violet. This is a more modest version and slightly pinker version of the color above. They are close, not very close, they're still different. This one is warmer. The 365 is warmer than the one above that. And it's a gorgeous pink when you dilute it. Beautiful. Very vibrant and not very much in your face. It's a little bit more modest. Great to work with. Okay, 595. Where are we now? 595, where art thou? Here. Benzomidazole Violet. Benzer. PV 32. Whoa, that is a strong color. Mega strong. Whoa, that is it's beautiful. It's a warm violet with a bluish undertone, and it's powerful. It's warmer than that one. It's warmer than the 576. And yet there is some blue in it. It's almost, it reminds me, it's almost as if there is two pigments in here, and it is only one pigment, PV32, but it feels warm reddish and bluish at the same time. Gorgeous color, really gorgeous. And when applied, very, very thick, becomes a super beautiful red color. You see that? Just going to drop in a little bit of water here. Right, so 532 Mauve. And this is not a color I know as mauve. The mauves I know are more like these three. So this looks like, I don't know, an imperial purple that I know from another brand. But that's the thing, don't trust the names. Always go by the pigments. When you move up to artist grade watercolors, try to think in pigments rather than in names, because the names don't mean a thing. They mean a little bit, but not as much. This is quite funny. The mauve is also, when diluted, a cool color. Look. This is like a cool purple, and I call it an imperial purple because it looks like, you know, a royal garments purple. But look, when you lay it on really thick, then you see it has a very warm, that it's not a really cool color. You see that? It's interesting. And look at how bright this pink is becoming. The Quinacridone Red Violet, look how beautifully vibrant it still is, and is even becoming when drying up. Wonderful. 593 Quinacridone Purple Bluish. Yep, that certainly is. Ah, this looks like there is an electric blue in it. Gorgeous. My kids and my husband make fun of me with all my oohing and eyeing over these pigments, but you guys get me, right? This is a beautiful, wow. This is a very, very, very bright and strong purple, but now look, when we dilute it, it really heads toward the bluish end. Amazingly beautiful color. Wow, I didn't have this, did I? No, this is a new color. Wow, I love this. This is a fantastic color. Ooh, this is yummy. And even here again, what I love is that the diluted version seems so much cooler than the intense version. 596 Manganese Violet, Manganese Pb 16. This should granulate, it says. And as you know, I love granulation. So let's see what it does. And I always add a little bit more water in it, and I'm working on paper with very little texture, so I do that on purpose because I want to see the granulation that's in the pigment itself, you know. I mean, you can get a lot of paints looking as if they granulate on heavy textured paper, but I really want to see how the paint behaves without the help of the paper. 548 Blue Violet, Pb 23. Whoa, almost looks like a dioxazine. No, it looks like a dioxazine. Pb 23. It's transparent, it's mega intense, it's wow. It is gorgeous. It is so vibrant that you can actually see the blue shine through in this one. This is gorgeous, wow. There we go. What are you doing, my bird says. Well, my dear, I'm swatching a couple of super, super lovely paints. Yeah, look at that. And here it seems quite the other way around. It seems like this is also a very a warm, like when it's diluted, it looks a bit warmer than the intense version. 507 Ultramarine Violet. This one re-wets a little bit more difficult, but that's something I know from other brands as well. Ultramarine Violet is supposed to granulate, so I can't wait to see it come. The granulation. It's not a very intense color. But that's I think normal for this color. Pb 15. It's light, it's laid back, it's a little bit of it's a shy color. Cobalt Violet tends to be a shy color as well. Pb 14 is also harder to re-wet, and this goes for the Cobalt Violets in other brands as well. I think it's a characteristic of this pigment, to be honest. This is a beautiful pinkish Cobalt Violet, and it's not that weak. In some brands it's incredibly weak. I've seen brands even that I've wondered, why on earth did you even take this paint into your collection? Because you know, it's okay if a paint is a little bit weaker than the others. but you do need color, right? If it doesn't give off any color, then why do you have it in your collection? This is a beautiful color. It's much less intense, of course, than this one or that one. But for those who like a little bit more laid back painting, or for underpaintings or flowers, or, you know, it's a gorgeous color. Now I have to check my phone. Yes, it's still recording, because I have problems with the memory of my phone. My phone keeps saying there wasn't enough space, and there should be, because I removed all the videos. Right, Lavender is a new color, a convenience mix for, you know, a lot of, it must be a popular color, because I see it appearing in every brand that I know. And this is a very cool lavender. It looks like it's very blue. It's a very blue lavender, and it's PB29. So it's an ultramarine mixed with the white, with the titanium white. And it doesn't say it's a granulating color, but with PB29 in it, it should granulate, and I think it does. Lovely color. It's a very cool color. 506 Ultramarine Dark. Now, let's wet this a little bit. This is a wonderfully intense color. Look at that. But very transparent. It's intense and laid back at the same time. Do you see what I mean? There's a lot of color coming from this. Okay. Love that. 503 French Ultramarine. This one also granulates. This is also PB, the blue pigment number 29, a granulating color, just like the dark ultramarine. And they are beautiful they both are beautiful in intensity, and I think it's going to dry up lovely in the granulation. I don't see very much of a difference between these two, I have to say. So I'll wait to see how they dry up. 512 Cobalt Blue Ultramarine. This is PB29 with PB15, which is a Thale Blue, and PW6. So let's see if it still granulates, because it's the PB29 should granulate, but they have added the Thale to it, PB15. Oh, these colors they feel so buttery, like they're so easy to re-wet. And they feel buttery without being gooey. You know, there are these paint brands that sometimes can be gooey. These are not gooey. These are buttery, but the paint is solved in the water immediately. Okay, checking my memory. Yes, still running. 511. Where are you? Cobalt Blue, PB28. Oops, granulating as well. Yes. Only smudged it a little bit. Now, this color also looks a bit like the color above it. So, very curious to see how it dries up. It does granulate wonderfully. Can already see that going on. The Talent Rembrandt Cobalts, they do really beautifully, the granulation. It's lovely. Okay, so now we move on to PB15. That is the Teal Blue Reddish 583. Yes. And that is always a very, very strong color. Also, it tints the paper very much, so it's very difficult to lift. I lay it down pretty heavily. Look, this is a gorgeous, by the way, that's with the Teal Blues. This one looks kind of natural. There's so often there is this Teal Blue that's like, I had the Daniel Smith Teal Blues green shade the other day, and that was so bright. It was quite unnatural. It was too bright for my liking. So I don't think I'm going to be using that a lot. Now, the Teal Blue Greenish, we end up there. Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. It's a lot less natural looking. It's super, super bright. But I have a feeling this one is a little bit more, it feels a little less chemical. And tinting strength is enormous. It does make beautiful seascape colors, doesn't it? The aqua color. Right, two more, only two. PB27 Prussian Blue, one of my favorites. Here we go. I love Prussian Blue. I love painting night skies, darkness. And this is just wonderful to do so. Gorgeous, gorgeous color. And no matter how much paint I dilute in water, it doesn't go gooey or honey-like anywhere. You know, it doesn't leave a crazy sheen on the paper. Some brands do that. Some brands, when you paint it with them, there is this shimmery layer on top of the paint afterwards, as if there's a little bit of plastic on top. None of that with the Rembrandts thus far. They're all just so good, so well behaved, which is what I mean with well behaved. Right, the final color of this page is Indian Throne Blue, PB60. And looks like a jeans blue, like a dark jeans blue, like indigo. It's I'm just trying to lay it on really thick to show you the maximum intensity. And it looks like it's staining. No, it's not staining at all. The Prussian Blue is a little bit more towards the greenish, like it's got a greenish undertone, and this one is more like a dark blue with a greyish undertone, more in the direction of indigo. So these two, now that it's dry, there is somewhat of a difference, but it's very slight. There is very little difference between these two. So if I look at all the beautiful gradations of colors here, the gradients of gradations of colors here, and then suddenly here, I end up with two colors that look very, very much alike, albeit that I have a feeling this one, the 506, the Ultramarine Dark, is a little lighter and brighter in color than the French Ultramarine. That looks a little bit darker. Let's see, but it's only very minimal difference, and then here again here is a difference. The 511 Cobalt Blue, how am I to describe this? I would say that the 512, the Cobalt Blue Ultramarine, heads more towards the direction of the purple, which of course is Ultramarine, which is on the brink of being purple sometimes. And this one has a very, very slight greenish thing in it. Not that it's a greenish kind of blue, but if you have to make, if you want to make clear the difference, then I would say that this goes a little bit more towards that end of the spectrum. So this was the second color chart. I'll be filming the other two tomorrow, and I will scan these. If you like these, subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my newsletter, because I'll be doing the other ones and I'll let you know. And what I'll also be doing is comparing the old colors that I have with the new ones and show you the difference. And if there's any questions, then please let me know and I'll try to answer them. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye!